There's no way around it. This Tyreek Hill situation has turned into the kind of drama that keeps fans glued to their screens, scrolling, refreshing, searching for clarity. Yet, clarity is the one thing we don't have when it comes to Hill's future with the Miami Dolphins. And, let's be honest, isn't that what makes this story so compelling? One of the NFL's most explosive wide receivers, one of the most electrifying playmakers to ever grace the field, might be slipping through Miami's fingers. Or maybe he isn't. But let's dig into this mess of conflicting signals, cryptic posts, and unspoken truths. Hill's comments after the Dolphins wrapped up their lackluster 2024 season against the New York Jets left the Dolphins fanbase with their jaws on the floor. Let's not sugarcoat it, Hill didn't exactly leave the door open for optimism. "I'm out," he said. That's not ambiguous. That's not a little maybe I'll see how things go. That's a statement that sends shockwaves through a team, through a locker room, through a fan base. And when a player like Tyreek Hill speaks, people listen. Everyone listens. Yet, just as the storm clouds began to gather over Miami, Hill's agent Drew Rosenhaus, the NFL's ultimate chess player, stepped in to muddy the waters. Now, Rosenhaus is a master at what he does, and that's keeping his clients' options wide open. So, what does he say? Tyreek is committed to Miami, he claims, but when pressed on whether Hill truly wants to stay, he suddenly gets vague. That's where you know something's brewing. Rosenhaus doesn't get vague for no reason. He's positioning. He's keeping all the cards close to the chest. And isn't that just another layer of intrigue to this story? Then came Friday. And if you thought this roller coaster was slowing down, think again. Tyreek Hill, the cheetah himself, goes on X, because, of course, in 2025 the biggest headlines are made on social media, and drops a bold claim. No context, no clarification, just enough to get everyone talking again. Hill is a master of this game. He knows exactly how to keep people guessing. And guess we will. Now, here's where the Patriots come in. That's right, the New England Patriots. Once the dynasty everyone feared, now a 4-13 shadow of their former selves, reportedly sniffing around for a player like Hill. Let's pause for a second and think about that. Can you even picture Tyreek Hill in a Patriots jersey? Can you imagine the backlash, the shockwaves that would ripple through the AFC East? But according to ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, that's not as far-fetched as you might think. Desperate is how one veteran NFC personnel man described New England. And doesn't desperation lead teams to do some pretty wild things? Let's set the stage here. The Patriots are at rock bottom. They've got Mike Vrabel stepping in as head coach, one of the top picks in the 2025 NFL draft, and a desperate need to inject some life into their roster. Hill would undoubtedly be the kind of seismic move that shakes the league. But let's be real, how would Dolphins fans stomach seeing one of their brightest stars lighting up the field for their most hated rival? It's almost unthinkable. Almost. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves, because there's still the matter of Tyreek Hill's 2024 season. And let's not mince words, it wasn't his best. It wasn't close. Playing through injuries, Hill had a season that he himself would probably describe as forgettable. 6 receiving touchdowns. Fewer than 1,000 yards. These are not Tyreek Hill numbers. These are not the stats you expect from a player who has set the standard for what it means to be an elite wide receiver in the NFL. Was it the injuries? Was it the offensive scheme? Was it a combination of factors? Whatever the reason, Hill's third season in Miami didn't just fall short of expectations, it missed them entirely. So, what happens next? That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Hill is 30 years old now. In NFL terms, that's when the whispers about decline start to creep in. But if you've watched Tyreek Hill over the years, you know this isn't a player who's going to quietly fade into the background. If anything, the man thrives on proving people wrong. And when he says he's going to play at a higher level in 2025, you better believe he means it. The question is, where will he be doing that? In Miami? In New England? Somewhere else entirely? What's fascinating here is the uncertainty. It's the what if. It's the fact that nothing, absolutely nothing, is set in stone. Sure, there's a good chance he'll stays in Miami. That's what the optimists will tell you. That's what Dolphins fans want to believe. But if we've learned anything from this league, it's that nothing is guaranteed. Loyalty is rare. Business comes first. And in Tyreek Hill's case, he's got to think about his future, his family, his career. Those aren't easy decisions, and they're not made in a vacuum.